Hi there, I'm Kay, and I'd like to share with you a little my thoughts on the autumn equinox and a little meditation that we can enjoy together. As I think about the autumn equinox, I think about the changing of the seasons, how in the northern hemisphere the leaves are starting to drift away from the trees, to fall upon the ground, where they will nourish nature in a different way. And the whole cycle of life will begin again in the spring. And everything is a part of that. And we are a part of that. And the lives that we live are part of the same cycles. And I had a reminder of the changing of the seasons today, when I looked out of my kitchen window and looked at the wonderful view I have of the Reykjavik mountain, Esjafjall, beautiful Esja. Then I saw that the top was coated in snow for the first time this year, highlighting the changing of the seasons and bringing a reminder that we are heading towards winter, and those refreshing winds of winter that can blow away all of the dross and refresh us in body, mind and spirit. Who hasn't enjoyed a walk in the wind as autumn perhaps turns to winter? Or it's just autumn and we can kind of kick our way through the autumn leaves, those copper leaves that have fallen, and those beautiful colours that change the palette that we're looking at when we're out in the country. And again, this mirrors life. And this year we've all lived lives that were very different from how we would have expected. But nevertheless, we've moved beyond the solstice, the time of fullness in the summer. And now we're at the time of the late harvest, when everything should be in from the fields, depending of course where we live, because further north the harvest is earlier, and further south, of course, it is a little later. But it's time to be grateful for what we've harvested during the months of summer, in a year when that harvest has been very different from what we would have expected. And for some of us this has been an adventure. For others it has been more of a trial and tribulation. But the autumn equinox is a time for reflection, a time for thankfulness in whatever ways we feel we would like to be thankful. It's good to take that pause, to take that opportunity in this time when light and dark are equal, and to remind ourselves that the forces that we might say are dark and the forces that we might say are light, and of course in reality are of every shade in between, hang in the equal balance in nature at this time. And so very often in our lives, those forces of the light and the bright, and the forces of the dark that can sometimes be so nurturing and so comforting, like the earth that nourishes the seed into life, the earth that appears to be just still during the winter, without any life force within it. And yet that life force is there waiting to burst forth. And there are many things that I maybe would have liked to have done this spring, summer and autumn that didn't take place, but other things took place. And those things are the ones that I give thanks for now. And they are perhaps what I needed, even though at times they were not what I wanted. But they were experiences that are part of the whole, part of the balance between light and dark. And we need the dark so that we can appreciate the light. And we need the light so that we can appreciate the beauty that can still be there during those times that we say are more challenging, are not what we would have chosen perhaps. But let's enjoy a little meditation together now. Maybe you would like to light a candle or to put out a few things that you consider to be sacred, or maybe just to rest right where you are and to close your eyes and to focus on your breath and to focus on your breath as the tide of life. And you may like to visualize the ocean waves flowing in and out, in and out, in and out. As you focus on the lowest part of your chest or abdomen that you can feel rising and falling with each easy breath you take. And it may start to feel as though you're breathing into your abdomen, belly breathing, as some people call it. But of course it is your lungs that do the work. But it's lovely to focus on that lowest point that you can feel rising and falling, rising and falling, as you imagine in rhythm with each breath, the tide flowing in and out, the waves that when they come in bring in refreshment, but they can also take out deep into the ocean that which you would like to be taken away, those parts of your summer that maybe you'd rather just forget, and instead the sands of life are being washed clean. And as you imagine those waves washing over soft sand, just very gently, flowing backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. It's time now to allow those waves to bring forwards those things that you feel were a blessing, that you enjoyed, or that you are grateful for. This might be something that you experienced in nature, something with a friend or a dear one, or simply a memory of a moment in time. But as you're resting there, I would like you to bring to mind whatever it is that pops into your mind that was a blessing, that you can feel grateful for, that you're glad to have been able to harvest in your life. And to know that even if that experience took place weeks or months or years ago, that you're able to harvest the good feelings that come from there, the sustenance that come from there, the nurturance that flows from that memory, as thoughts of that memory bring the feelings alive, and you're grateful for the feelings of a peaceful moment, a peaceful or a glorious moment in time that blessed your life, that's there to strengthen you, that's there as an inner light to support you as the increasingly cool winds of winter bring their freshness beneath your wings to raise you up in whatever ways you would like to be raised up. Maybe you'd like to contemplate that, to think of what it is that you would like to make more of within yourself as you go through the winter. What quality would you like to have more of? What inspiration would you like to follow? What aspiration would you like to give wings to? Again, just allow the first thought, word or image to pop into your mind on the subject of aspiration and inspiration to help to carry you through the winter months, ready for the flowering of the new you that is going to start in the spring. Or perhaps you will find that that idea, that thought, that image that inspires you is something that you can get to work on right now. And in many ways, whatever it is, you can get to work on it right now, because that thought, image or idea is sitting there right now at the back of your mind, in your subconscious mind also. And the seed in your subconscious mind will act like a compass to guide you and will help you to develop that, or to allow it to flow and evolve in the right way for you, just because you allow it to be there. And give a little time to nourishing you, a little time to being grateful for the nature and the cycles of nature and the cycles of life all around you. For very often we feel that life is standing still, but the hands of time never stand still. The wings of light, empowered by the wind beneath them, are never still, are never flying over the same terrain. They are moving forwards, moving upwards, but at the same time giving us the opportunity to rest in thankfulness for the glories of life that have been ours. Those small things, those things that were much more major, that have enriched and blessed every life. I will leave you to sit with your inspiration and your aspiration a little while longer, so that you can develop that picture, that pattern that will sit there at the back of your mind, rather like the pattern that is within a leaf or a flower. I invite you now to once again become conscious of your breath, to be conscious of how you are breathing in this very moment. And then to become more aware of your body, of your fingers and toes, and you may want to wriggle them. You may want to get ready to have a big stretch. But it is time, when I count up to 5, for you to open your eyes and to come back from this little meditation refreshed, calm, aware of the beauties around you, and ready to get on with your day. 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting ready to open your eyes, to become fully alert. 5. And having a nice big stretch. Now, what we have just experienced is a meditation, but I am a clinical hypnotherapist, and if you would like to arrange a hypnotherapy session, my website, K Cook Hypnotherapy, will provide you with all of the details that you need, and of course there is a link below. If you would like to arrange a mediumship reading or a rune reading, again my contact details can be found below. I thank you for being with me.